Marisol is an original artist. She's fearless, she's bold, courageous, and glamorous, and she inspired so much of the New York pop story. Hi, I'm Jessica Beck, the Milton Fine curator of art at the Andy Warhol Museum, and I'm here to share Marisol and Warhol Take New York, which is an exhibition which is very dear. It was 5.5 years in the making, and the whole point of this exhibition is really to tell a story that hasn't been told before, to really show the friendship, the inspiration, the working relationship, and to do it with this really beautiful presentation of early sculpture of Marisol's work and Warhol's early work together, and to tell something new. Who is Marisol Escobar? Not many people know about Marisol. In the 1960s, she was hugely popular. She was in Harper's Bazaar, she was in Vogue magazine, she was in Glamour magazine, she was in Life magazine. She was having thousands of people line up around the block to her solo exhibitions at the Eleanor Ward Stable Gallery. And yet in the history books, in the pop narrative of this moment in the 1960s, Marisol is written in the margins as just someone who was sort of operating in these circles, but sort of on the outside. But what I wanted to do is to really look at that history and to look at her as a central figure and as someone who really inspired Warhol, and to show her as not someone who's marginal, but who is an equal to Warhol.
Marisol to me is an artist who really created a huge body of work that's extremely inspiring, and someone who made something completely unique to them and to a lot of people. She's someone that I think is a person all unto herself. I think her work and everything, I think it was just, she was a universe.
I'm excited to really get to know her more. I'm excited to spend time here and really connect with this work. My immediate reaction was really connected to a certain kind of power, like this feminine power, right? And to see it like from someone who was so established in the art world and then deleted from the art world is pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible to like be given this gift of seeing her, of meeting her, and like knowing about her work. I want to know more. I want to know more about the things that she thought about.
So visitors will come here in Pittsburgh and they'll start on the 4th floor and they'll encounter the early work, the first shows that Marisol had of her pop assemblage sculptures in New York in 1962 at Eleanor Ward Stable Gallery. And you'll also see Warhol's first paintings that he showed in November 1962 at Eleanor Ward. So you get this really early moment between the two of them, a true dialogue between their work. And then you also encounter this film, Marisol stop motion, that Warhol made of Marisol. She's interacting with these sculptures that she showed at Eleanor Ward in 1964 for her second solo show there. And what I wanted to do is to bring this film to life. So you see in the exhibition sculpture that Marisol is actually interacting with in that film, and you really get to see a slice in time between the two of them.
I thought it was really interesting how Andy was like an observer. I think throughout his life as an artist, he was observing always. I think that's one of the most unique and special traits an artist should definitely have, is like to understand how to be anywhere. And I think he understood that, and I think he extended that into different like formats.
As a filmmaker who films women, it's really kind of incredible to see just her poise and like her power, her eye contact, her body language, like even just like the interaction she has with her own work is really incredible, and almost like the respect that she's giving the work also of like, she's like very politely standing with the sculptures that she made that, as if they were people. And I just, there's something about that is really kind of resonating in my mind.
You see the two of them in this true dialogue between Marisol and her work, Warhol somehow off camera suggesting certain movements on camera that's happening. In another film from the summer of 1963 called Bob, Indiana, etc., Marisol is in the grass with Wynne Chamberlain, Robert Indiana, John Giorno at Eleanor Ward's summer home in Lyme, Connecticut. It's outside. It has this beautiful light of a setting sun. Everyone is smiling, even Marisol is smiling. And there's something playful and young and beautiful and sweet about that film that is very unusual. And it was the true impetus for all of the work that visitors will see here. The other themes that take place is this rising fame, gallery success for Warhol and Marisol that starts to happen. It really take off after 64 into 65. So when visitors go down to the second floor of the exhibition, you'll encounter this later work. And you have portraits of Ethel Skall that Warhol did, his first portrait commission. You have a screen test that he does of Ethel Skall. Warhol, by this moment, is starting to gain traction in the galleries, with the media. He starts to sort of fabricate and polish this idea of a persona. So this kind of myth idea of Warhol with the silver factory, with this crew of people around him, starts to take shape more solidly by 1965. So you get that version of Warhol downstairs. What you also encounter are ideas of expansive painting, expansive sculpture. So Warhol in 1966 debuts his cow wallpaper and Silver Clouds in April 1966 at Leo Castelli Gallery. Downstairs, I also have paired with this cow wallpaper Marisol's enormous, expansive installation of sculpture called The Party. So I brought those two pieces together so you can get this real sense of what was happening in the 60s with work, both of them thinking expansively, larger, and it's a real sort of crowning moment between the two of them of dialogue. It's also quite fun together. You feel as if you've really encountered an actual party scene.
The work is living, it's existing, and just like thinking about care, thinking about those things, that like energy that she put in, like she gave these sculptures life and she's like respecting that life.
When I'm thinking about Marisol's work, I really see how much colors are like blocked off and there's movement with these nuanced like sculptural pieces that are like impressions of her own face and of her own hands and how much she uses her body. I love that. I use so much of my own identity in terms of my memories, in terms of things that I've experienced, and I think it's like the best thing you have. It's like the things you know. It's sincere because it's your truth. And I love that. I feel like looking at her sculptures especially, it really sings to me because I think they're in motion. It just feels alive.
And it tells stories about her childhood. It tells stories about her family. It tells stories about her as a woman in New York, kind of in the shifting gender roles that were taking place in the 60s. And it shows friendship between Warhol and Marisol. So I think that's one of the things I love about this exhibition, is that it's for everyone.